Hello, I'm Dr. David Milgrom. We will now begin Level 3 of the 7 Keys to Self-Empowerment with key number 7, Honoring the Soul Body. In Matt Wood's 7 Herbs book, the 7th herb is yellow lady slipper, an herbal food that causes relaxation and peace within the body. It is for when the shoe fits. Wear it. It is path medicine. It is for the person who feels like they're off their path on a detour. But we learn things on the detours that we would never catch breezing by on the superhighway. The biblical character associated with honoring the soul body is Joseph of the many-colored coat. Joseph was originally sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, and later ended up in the dungeons of the Pharaoh, where the jailkeeper learned that he was a great interpreter of dreams. And when he interpreted the dreams of the Pharaoh that all his soothsayers and astrologers could not interpret, Joseph went from the dungeons of Egypt to being the governor of Egypt overnight. Later on, when there was a great drought that Joseph had predicted from interpreting the Pharaoh's dreams, he ended up being the vehicle through which all the people for hundreds of miles around were saved because they stored away some food based upon the interpretation of Joseph's dream. Joseph got to see his father Jacob again, and after his father Jacob passed, his brothers immediately got very scared and thought, he's going to get us now. And they asked him for forgiveness, and he basically said to them, who do you think I am, God? I'm not supposed to forgive you. You're supposed to talk to God about that. He says, besides, I don't blame you. If you hadn't sold me into slavery to send me on this long and winding road, I never would have gotten to this place where I could save you and our father and all the people around the land through being the governor of Egypt. So Joseph was the classic case of someone who seemed to be way off his path, but ended up being in perfect alignment of his path to grab hold of vital blessings for himself, his family, and the whole land. So the first level of honoring the soul body is the root of acceptance. Acceptance of who we are, where we're at, and what we're doing. Dick Olney, developer of self-acceptance therapy, said that acceptance, self-acceptance, is the perennial therapy. All therapies in disguise are really self-acceptance. So it's Joseph's acceptance of who he was and where he was at that enabled him to heal himself and his brothers and sisters. When I worked with many different Hopi elders, many of them told me the same thing. The most important thing in life is to be on your path. If you're not on your path, they'd say, how will Great Spirit recognize you when the day comes? But when you're on your path and you're feeling really good, I'm on my path, I'm doing so good, you're starting to think about getting off it. When you start telling yourself how good it is you're on it, you're really starting to think about getting off it. So before you get off your path, when you know you're on, turn around and look over your shoulder and see where you were again. Remember where you were, and that ought to be giving you enough inspiration to keep moving forward and stay on your path. So in honoring the soul, it's really all about acceptance of one's path, acceptance of the path in life, and for some of the super sensitive, acceptance of your path in lives. The second level of healing in honoring the soul body, the stem of the soul body, I call graceful integration. This is where we choose to integrate with who we are and where we're at and what we're doing, rather than disintegrate. Integration is really the essence of what we're talking about here with honoring one's soul. To stay integrated is the stem that enables our spiritual force to keep assisting us no matter where we are on our path. The branch of honoring the soul body, the third level, is called gratitude. Having thankfulness and gratitude is a most important key to honor your path. If we're always walking around down on our path and down on ourselves, filled with self-doubt and doubt of God and great spirits that are trying to help us, we can't really move forward very well on our path. Gratitude literally is a food for the soul, whether given or received, without which the soul, no matter how rich, starves. A little gratitude can get you through the roughest of times and detours on your path. The fourth level of healing and honoring the soul body is called the leaves of peace, turning over the leaves of peace again. Letting oneself have peace and be at peace is a major key to engendering all the other positive aspects of one's existence: energetic, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and that of the vital energy that feeds the soul. The flower, or the fifth level of healing and honoring the soul body, is called inner healing. This is when we let our experience be food for inner healing. Any experience is potentially food or drink for inner healing. When we raise our energy up to the level of inner healing, we can move forward with the essence of why we seek to be integrated to begin with along our path. For inner healing, the fifth layer of soul body healing leads to the sixth layer of the fruit, which is called revering your purpose. Grandfather David said, "All who know the purpose of their life and take it seriously will fight to the death without losing their inner cheerfulness and hope of success." It's the reverence of one's purpose that will really lead one on to the finer realms of the divine. Revering our purpose is where we really find the true colors of the real you, of the real us. Revering our purpose and being strong in it is what enables us to create a better path for ourselves and for those around us. The seventh layer of healing, the 49th key, is compassion. Compassion, in my book and in Positive Body Language, is the integration of wisdom and love, of feminine, internal, intuitive wisdom and masculine, external, oh-so-logical love. Haha. Compassion, having compassion on self, is ultra important so that we can have compassion on others. Many people try to extend compassion to others, though if they're not extending it to their very own selves, it doesn't go very deep or do too much good. Having compassion is really the key that lifts us up into the seventh healing law. The seventh healing law is the healing law of authority. This is where we gain our inner medical or chiropractic or osteopathic or naturopathic license. The seventh healing law is where we gain our inner license to practice. The lady slipper path of feeling on the path, off the path, on a detour is oftentimes the path of the healers. Most people, like the reluctant shamans, do not choose healing just because it's so much fun. They usually stumbled into the bushes or hit a wall, got all bruised up, and they had to learn how to do healing for themselves. And then when they learned to do it, the love inside them naturally wanted to extend it to others. So at the seventh level of honoring the soul body, we give ourselves to the marriage, the integration of using wisdom and love to have compassion on ourselves and on all those around us. This is what Joseph did in feeding his brothers and sisters through acceptance of his path. The primary access and attention mode of the seventh chakra and of the seventh key to self-empowerment, the soul body, is to drink a little certainty. In the sixth key of honoring the vital body, the major access and attention mode was knowing. Now it's certainty, not just to know, but to be certain. There's a big difference, though subtle it may be. In my theory, when we're knowing something, it's of the sixth chakra and of the pituitary, because when we're still learning something and still learning to know it, we're still doubting it. We're still testing it. We have to, in order to really know it. But once we really do know, we can let go of testing it, doubting it, challenging it all the time. And we can sip on a little certainty. There's peace with certainty. As I see, the knowing is in the sixth chakra of the pituitary, and the certainty is in the pineal gland of the seventh chakra. So just by letting a little tiny bit of energy rise from the sixth to the seventh chakra, we have a little certainty, and that brings peace to the soul body. The primary resonant brain center that correlates to honoring the soul body is the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is the bridge between the hemispheres. It's where we integrate thoughts and feelings left and right, masculine and feminine, receiving and giving. It's been learned that the corpus callosum of most women is 35 to 65% larger than the corpus callosum of most men. In other words, most women are wired to think with both sides of their brain, both intuitively and logically, whereas most men are wired to think with one little part of their brain if they're lucky, and to think that they got the whole picture with their one good eye. They see everything. The corpus callosum is the key to the health, well-being, and healing of all the other bodies, the energetic, the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, the physical, the vital, and that of the soul. The major chakra associated with the seventh key is the seventh chakra, also known as the crown chakra. The Hopis call the top of the head the kopa, the kopavi. They say this is the doorway where we keep open to the Creator. When babies are born, they pour water on their heads to keep that soft spot soft. And the prayer work through all of life is to pray for rain and to keep the kopa soft so that the Creator can communicate with us and we can communicate with the Creator. The crown chakra is oftentimes the place of the trickster, of the coyote, where tricks have been played. There may be tricks in the matrix of the soul body, which is why it is so important to honor and to integrate all the other aspects and levels of each key. So when the shoe fits, wear it, because that is really what you're looking for, the perfect fit. Whether on an emotional love level, a physical level, a spiritual level, we are all looking for the perfect fit within ourselves, with others, and with all of life. The perfect fit engenders and encourages deep acceptance and inner healing. The dominant energetic in honoring the soul body, fortunately or unfortunately, is that the healer very often feels like they're on a detour. They're off their path. And so, the healing medicine is to be in total acceptance, even acceptance to the point of being in surrender mode. Surrender as to where you're at and where you're going. The primary direction of honoring healing in the soul body is to move onward, is to keep moving, is to keep going for integration, going for GPS, gratitude, peace, and serenity. From the inside out, the core tissue of honoring the soul body are the bones. The bones and how they stack up, that's where you end up. The bones, of course, produce the blood in the bone marrow that gives us the life. The bones are the key. The alignment of the bones, the strength of the bones, the quality of the bone tissue integrity is oftentimes the determinant in whether we feel integrated or broken down. And so the healing statement, the healing prayer to honor the soul body is really to say thank you. Thank you for every good thing. Thank you to Great Spirit. Thank you to our bodies. Thank you to all of life, the food we eat, the people around us, the animals, the trees, the water. To have the attitude of thank you can change any negative picture into a positive picture. Holding the attitude of gratitude and thankfulness regardless of circumstance holds the key to changing any negative picture into a positively experienced picture. This is the picture that I'm creating with sharing positive body language and the 7 keys to self-empowerment. In level 3 of the 7 keys to self-empowerment seminar, during the metapracticum portion of honoring the soul body, we of course will be going over and teaching all the various points and sequences that relate from the root to the seed of honoring the soul body. The root of acceptance, the stem of graceful integration, the branch of gratitude, the leaves of peace, the flower of inner healing, the fruit of revering one's purpose, and the seed of compassion. The metapracticum will also consist of learning contacts for all the related brain centers, all the major and minor chakras, and any emotions or biochemical aspects that may also be associated with the soul and its healing. Another part of level 3 in the metapracticum seminar is we will be teaching positive body language for every jewel tone color and every musical note. Another aspect that will be covered during the metapracticum part of the honoring the soul body will be teaching contacts for the transitional zones of the body, like the occiput and the cervicals, the cervicothoracic, the thoracic lumbar, the lumbosacral. We'll be teaching patterns and ways to adjust the transitional zones to help engender health and healing. Concluding level 3 of the 7 Keys to Self-Empowerment at the Positive Body Language Seminar, we will be doing a review of all previously taught principles and practices taught in honoring the energy body, the spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, physical body, vital body, and that of the soul. I look forward to meeting with you and sharing what I know about how well positive body language can help you to help yourself as well as your patients to engender and embrace healing energy. I look forward to seeing you at the upcoming Positive Body Language seminars.